Welcome to another Trailblazer Inc. podcast. With me today is Kara Johnson. She is a journeyman welder and journeyman millwright. Welcome, Kara. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Did I pronounce your name right, Kara?
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Okay. So obviously we just met. We don't know each other, never met previously. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, and then I'm going to follow up with a few questions.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a welder and I've been welding for 10 years. And then I just got my millwright millwright journeyman in June. I work at Lafarge out in Exshaw, the one with the big silver dome on the lake. And I work on their maintenance crew and just fix broken stuff all day.
Nice.
I love it. It's a great job.
That's awesome. And you're right in the mountains there.
Yeah, it's nice. It's beautiful scenery, but cold weather sometimes, like we were just saying.
Yeah. We were just talking. It's so cold in Alberta right now. It's like high of minus 35. Well, this morning when I got up, it was minus 35. So that's brutal. It's brutal.
Yeah.
Alberta winter. Gotta love it, or I don't know. Florida's looking pretty good these days.
Just deal with it.
That's right. Suck it up, right? Anyways, how did you get started in the trades?
So it's kind of a long story, but when I first went to school when I was 21, I went to school for dental assisting because my parents are very much like girls have girl jobs and boys have boy jobs. And I kind of wanted to do more of like a hands-on job. And I think I mentioned welding or something like that. And they're like, no, like you're not going to go work. You're not going to do that. Do dental assisting. So I spent like $20,000 did dental assisting. I absolutely hated it. I didn't make enough money. I was pretty much the dentist's slave and they were not the nicest. And you're just kind of stuck in this position. There's no room for growth. And big thing was I didn't make enough money. Like I couldn't afford a house. I couldn't afford a car. I barely afford rent. And everyone says it's a good job, but it's a good job if you have a partner, which I didn't at the time. So then I went to school to become an on-site medic up north. And I did that for 2 years and I liked it. It was good, but you're working away all the time and it's not really a good way to have a sustainable life and have a partner and stuff like that. So I was kind of at a point where I was like, what do I want to do with my life? What do I want to do? And I went down to the Burning Man Festival for my first year. And I saw these like amazing pieces of art, like massive piece of art. And there was one that I saw and it was this big coyote that was probably 20 feet tall. And it was made out of thick metal that was all bent and welded together and you could crawl up in it and the head spun around. And I was just like, how is this made? How is this made? And I was so enamored with like how it was made. And it was awesome. And then I came back here after that and I was like, I want to learn to build cool stuff. I have all these ideas in my head and no way of getting them out. So I want to learn how to build stuff. And I decided I want to do welding. But no one wants to hire a dental assistant medic to be a welder's helper. So I applied for jobs for like probably over 6 months and got 0 phone calls, no interest, anything like that. And I don't know if like the women in trades or like you're saying the RAP program or stuff like that was really I was too old for the RAP, but the women in trades and the government wasn't pushing for women to go into trades. So I was kind of lost on like, how do I get in? So I just started messaging everyone that I knew that kind of dealt with like oil field trade stuff. And one of my friends from high school who did QC for a pipeline company ended up getting me a welder's helper's job. So that was my first job welding or being a helper, I guess. And I did that for like 9 months, did pipeline. It was good. It was fun. So yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to learn how to build cool stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a great story. The only thing not one of the only things I've never done is pipeline, but all my family has done pipeline. So good on you for doing that. That's not easy.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't mind it. It was nice being outside all day, but overall, like I was a helper for a bit and then I was a laborer and I was like, I don't, when I get my ticket, I'm not going to be a pipeline welder for sure. Like I'm happy I had the experience, but yeah, it's not the life I want.
Yeah. And that's the funny thing about welding itself. There's a lot of different options. People think it's just pipeline or they think it's just working in a fab shop or it's just working with a rig or always gone from home. And it's not true. There's a lot of different areas you can get into when you're a welder, and obviously millwright too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm lucky that I got to experience a lot of the different avenues of it. But yeah, people just think there's like one thing. So yeah, if you're like getting into it, it's like try as many different types of jobs as you can.
Absolutely. Good advice for sure. I say the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question is, how far have you explored your trade? Now you've got two trades to talk about. Earlier you were talking about being a foreman, so that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, I guess so I did pipeline for a while, and then I worked for my whole welding apprenticeship, I worked in a custom fab shop. So I never built the same thing twice, which was really fun. I think for probably my first 2 years of my welding apprenticeship, I was a plumbing apprentice. So the plumbers needed help, so I just go and help them. But it showed me how to fit pipe really well, which is always a good skill to have. And yeah, I don't know. That was a really good experience job, but the people, I guess like the overall atmosphere was not the best sometimes. Like they didn't make me feel like they always made me feel like I was kind of messing up or being dumb, or, they weren't like, hey, good job. It's kind of like, if you're not getting yelled at, you're doing a good job. And which is like, it's weird to say that, but it's like, if am I doing good? It's like, well, I haven't been yelled at today, so I guess I'm doing good, right?
Oh, that's not good. But yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
So yeah. So anyways, yeah, and now my job at Lafarge, when I was being like lead hand supervisor, I had to do this big job for them, and I did multiple jobs for them, and they really liked me. So they opened up a welding job and they told me to apply for it. And it paid way better. It's union. I have like full benefits, everything. So it's like, why wouldn't I go over? So anyways, they poached me from that job, and they're just like, everything I do is great. So it's really nice to like, they're happy with what I do, and like they wanted me to come there. So it really like boosted my confidence. It's like, hey, I can do this and I know what I'm doing, right?
Yeah. No, that's awesome. It sounds like you're in the right place now, right?
100%. Yeah.
So are you welding there? Or are you a millwright there, or are you both?
Yeah, so they hired me as a welder, and then they want all their journeymen to be dual ticketed. So they only hired millwrights for a while. And then their welder retired, so they needed welders. But lots of their millwrights have their welding tickets, but they're not the best welders because they don't have like formal, like, not, I don't want to say formal training, but their apprenticeship is through the plant where they don't do much welding. So anyways, for the more technical jobs, they decided to hire me and another guy. And then they wanted us to have our millwright ticket. So they put us through school, like as soon as I got hired on, which was great. So I do probably like 75% of my days millwright, and then not my day, maybe my week. And then the rest is welding.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's good. It's good because you don't really want to let one, like, not do one and kind of lose, not that you ever lose your skill, but it's good to keep them both sharp, right? No, that's cool.
Totally.
So what is your favorite aspect of your trade of choice? Now, again, you have two to talk about, so.
My favorite aspect, I love millwrighting. I'm actually super happy that I had the opportunity to do it. Like, I like welding, but after doing millwright, it's so interesting to like see how things go together, see how things work, like opening up stuff, and you're like, whoa, I never knew what was in that. Like, you go to a plant and you see all these pieces of equipment and you're like, that's a motor and that's a motor and that's a motor. Like, I don't know what anything is. But now I go there and I'm like, that's a motor, that's a pump, that's a compressor. And I know like how they work and how to fix them, which is like, it makes me happy and feel confident just in my everyday. Cause I'm like, I know how things work and I can fix stuff. And like, I'm not just like someone that is like, I don't know how anything works around me. You know what I mean?
I think that's really cool. Yeah. I always talk about the pride in trades, right? You're just so proud of the things that you've done, the things that you're working on. There's people don't realize the sense of pride in when you complete a project, right? And when you drive by that spot forever and ever and ever, you'll always know, I worked there and I worked there and I did this and I did that. We talk about it all the time in the podcast. So it's pretty, I mean, I think it's across all trades and all trades people do it. It's pride in work is it's a big thing with us, for sure.
Yeah, and it's nice to even just be like in an office, you do paperwork and take calls and stuff, but in the trades, if you're building something, you can look in a day and be like, this is what I made, right? You can
Yeah.
see progress, and like it's
Yeah.
nice to see what you've done in a day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so what obstacles have you overcome along the way?
Making the effort to learn how to do your job and not being lazy and letting like a guy do it for you. I know like one of the stigmas that I've had to fight is like you come on site and they're like, oh, a girl's here. Now I got to do my job and her job. Right.
Mhm.
But at the same time, like when I was pipelining, I had to move around these motors and other kind of heavy things. And this guy would come and be like, oh, here, let me do this for you. Oh, here, let me do this for you. And it happened a few times. And then I was like, Ron, like if you see me touching something, don't touch it. I don't need your help. If I need help, I will ask for it. Until then, like, let me do my job. And then he's like, oh, you're being a bitch, da da da. And I'm like, I'm not being a bitch. I'm telling you to let me do my job, because what's the point of me being here if you do it for me? And then he left me alone and let me do it. And then a few weeks later, he came to me and he's like, hey, like, I'm sorry for, what I said, blah, blah, blah. He's like, you bust your ass just as much as all of us. And I thought you're just some pretty girl here to collect a paycheck. Like you do good and work just as hard. And I'm like, thank you. But also like, why do I have to tell you to let me do my job?
Yeah.
So I guess in that aspect, like you can't change the world, but you can change like one person at a time that you work with. So hopefully the next time he works with a girl, he's like, Kara can do it, so you can do it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's very true. And thanks for mentioning that, because that doesn't come up very often. But yeah, a lot of times we do kind of get painted with this brush that we're not there to do our job. And most of us, like 98% of us, are there to do our job. We just want to do our job. We want to collect our paycheck. We want to accomplish something, because then that's where that pride comes from. If you're getting everybody else to do your job, then there's no pride in work because you haven't done anything. And we can do it. And I'm the first to say that, yeah, if I need help, right? And same as what you just said, if I need help, I'll ask for it. Like, don't be shy. I won't be shy and hurt myself. Trust me. Because everybody needs help every once in a while. Anything else? Any other obstacles you want to talk about, or you want to move on?
No, I think the other one, like we were talking about, is like knowing your worth and like standing up for it. Like, I want to be paid so much, or I deserve this, or even just being like, I deserve this job and I deserve to be here and I do just as well as all of you. So it's like not letting guys or girls or whoever make you feel like you don't deserve to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And respect is earned. I always say that. And it's sometimes I've noticed in the past that women have had to work a little bit harder to earn the respect of the peers. But I think things are getting better. I think things are getting better. I think, giving anybody that's new on a job site, no matter what and who and what they look like, giving them an opportunity just to see what they can do before you make those assumptions is that kind of thing is changing, I think. So did you have any other women you could look to for support when you were coming up in your trades?
No, I'm usually by myself all the time. Yeah, even like my job now, I'm the first female they've ever hired on their maintenance crew, which is good. And I've worked with one other girl, or I've worked with a few other girls like very sporadically, and that's pretty much it. I'm usually the only one all the time, but I don't mind. Like, I work usually with pretty good guys, and I don't know, if you just, like you said, you kind of like show that you can do the job and I want to be treated the same, then I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. I mean, you're a sister, right? Those are your brothers. So you all work together to accomplish the task, right? So that's good. What does a day in your life look like? So a work day, of course, pick a work day. And
well, I'm a union worker, so my day is not as bad as some other people's.
Good point. I'm union too, so there.
Yeah, I think the shittiest part of my day is definitely waking up so early. Like, trades always starts early and I have to drive an hour to work. So I wake up at like 5:10 in the morning and then drive for an hour, safety meeting at 7. We get to stretch for 20 minutes, which is nice. And Yeah, I don't know. We have our safety meeting and go do our jobs, and it kind of just every day is different. Like I think there's 15 of us, so we work with a different person every day, and we just go out and fix stuff. And I don't know, it's pretty chill and relaxed. Like I don't have someone breathing down my neck to produce and perform. They just want stuff fixed, and so it's really nice. My job is pretty relaxed compared to some jobs I've done.
No, that's awesome. That sounds like a great day. So then your day ends, you work an 8-hour shift, and then you drive home, and then you can chill and do fun things. And I know you have
Yeah,
some pets. We were talking about pets earlier.
yeah. I only have to work 8 hours, but there's always overtime. So I normally work 12 hours. So I work like 7 to 7:30 normally. And then I get home at 8:30. So it's kind of a long day, but we start shutdowns the second week of January, and those go until June. So I'll pretty much be working like 12 hours nonstop for the next four-ish months, 4 or 5 months, but it's worth it. It pays super well.
You're making me want to come. I love shutdowns, and they're not that far from me. Oh my God. Yeah. No, I love shutdowns. That's my favorite thing. Yeah. And the long days also come with a big paycheck too. So I
Oh
don't
yeah,
talk
that's
about
what
the
makes it worth
money
it.
a whole lot, but yeah, when you work in a 12-hour day, people think, oh my God, that's such a long day. When you see the paycheck, it's like, yeah, it's worth it. It's worth
I know at
it.
the end, you're like, I'm not doing this again. You get paid. You're like, oh, okay, maybe 2 more weeks.
Exactly. Think all the nice things you can buy yourself, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so do you have any advice for others that may be looking to join the trades?
Um, One of the biggest things, and I've talked about this with friends, and I found it was hard for me, is especially if you haven't worked with tools and been kind of around trades and building stuff, like prepare to just look dumb and not know how to do anything. And like everyone learns. It's not that you're a girl and you don't know how to do anything. Guys don't know how to do stuff. Like everyone learns. You're going to look dumb for maybe a year, and then you start learning how to use the tools and what you're doing, and it gets easier. But it's like the first year is hard, but it's worth it to just grind through it and just try and learn as much as you can.
Grind through it. That was a little pun you threw in there. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I caught it. No, it's true. That's good. That's good. Okay. So the final remarks are yours. Anything else you'd like to share or discuss or anything? The floor is yours.
Um, I don't know. I love being in trades. Like I've done 7 years of trade school, and I have zero debt from it, which is great. And I have a good paying job, and like every day is like a puzzle. I have to fix something or do this and this. Like, how am I going to do this? So it's interesting, and it keeps me fit. And I don't know. I tell all my friends they should get into trades. I think it's great. And especially if you're in Alberta and BC, like the government wants you, especially if you're a female, to go to school, like take advantage of it. And I feel like this is maybe one of the few places that you can be a female in the trades and like really succeed and get respect and move up in your job. So it's a great opportunity, and I don't know, it's fun.
Yeah, no, it is. It really is. And I'm glad. The reason I do the podcast is because I want people to see the people that are working in the trades, because there's a certain stigma about what women in the trades should look like. And I want them to hear your voice and see how you express how happy you are to be in the trades. So another question that seems to keep coming up is what do you prefer to be called? Do you want to be called journeyman, journeywoman, journey person? Does it matter to you?
It doesn't overall matter to me, but I prefer to be called like not a journeyman, but just a journeyman. To me, that's kind of a gender neutral term. And like I don't bust my ass to be a journey woman or journey person. I just want to be the same as everyone else. And I feel like especially when I meet guys and they're like, oh, journeyman, oh, sorry, journey person, oh, sorry, journey woman. They're like, what do you want to be called? It's kind of just pointing out that I'm like different than everyone else, and
Yeah.
I'm a female there. And it's like, I just want to be the exact same. Just call me a journeyman. I prefer that. It's not that, yeah, I don't see it as like a man's term, I suppose.
Yeah. I agree. People have asked me that the same too, right? And what I
Mhm.
used to say was, I'm a welder.
Yeah.
I'm a certified welder, whatever.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, why does it matter? Like, I understand it's an important thing nowadays, but also I feel like to me, it's important when I go to work that I am not singled out as being a woman there. I want to like work the same. I want to be treated the same. I want you guys to like be the same as if I was a dude around there, like
Yeah.
I just want to be like you said, I just want to be a welder and go to work and be treated the same.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Nothing wrong with sticking out, but that's not how I feel about it. I just want to blend in myself. So I totally can relate to you there. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we end the podcast?
I think an important thing is to think about like what kind of work environment you want. Do you want to work outside? Do you want to work indoors? Do you want to lift heavy things? Do you want to use your brain more? It's like that kind of helps with you being happy at work. Because if you don't want to work outside, like, don't be a carpenter or lots of times a welder or stuff like that, like be an electrician or some, a plumber or whatever. Right. So,
yeah.
Or even just like you said, lifting heavy things, or there's like so many different avenues of trades. And if you do one, you don't like it, try another one, right? As long as you have the foot in the door and people see that you know how to kind of do stuff and you work, it's easy to kind of segue between other trades. And two, it's after, like when I first got my welding, I always knew that I wanted to get my second trade. And I signed up for my pipe fitting. I didn't end up going to school because I got my other job, but then I got my millwright, and I'm super happy that I have more than one, because there's like so many interesting things to learn, and it makes you more employable. You get to make more money and you have more options for jobs. And I don't know, it's fun to just keep on learning.
Absolutely, I agree. Great advice, great podcast. It's nice to get to know you. So thank you for agreeing to do a podcast with me. I'm going to end the podcast now, but stay on the line because everybody that does a podcast with me gets some free stuff. So hang on, don't go anywhere after we stop recording. But thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. You take care.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Bye.